And now, once again, from our family interview area, brought to us by Dynamic Lifecycle Innovations, here's Joni Smith.
Well, welcome to a Power Hour, sponsored by Weezer Brothers. Let's build on that, shall we? Did you catch that? Weezer Construction, let's build on that. Let's build on that Power Hour, Andrea.
So
Thank you for
punny.
being here. They're very busy. The Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank, that's what's happening. 608-784-KIDS, 5437. The excitement and the enthusiasm, you can feel it. It's in the air. And there's a reason it's in the air, because we have some special little friends here that we want to say hello to. Also want to thank IC Systems for being on the phone banks. They're here for a couple of hours today. Look at them up there, ready to roll. Mason and Tessie are here. Tessie, hello.
Hi.
And mighty Mason Hurd, our 4-year-old, is with us. And you know what? I think what has happened here, you guys brought this incredible electricity with you today.
I hope so.
Just the minute you walked in the door, well, look at that face. You just give him whatever he wants, don't you?
13.
I try not to, but it's a little hard.
It just happens.
It's hard.
Yeah. We were just talking about Halloween costumes. And
Yes.
that he may want to be a policeman for Halloween.
Yes.
So if he wants to, then it'll probably happen.
Yeah, he kind of already has a policeman costume because I already caved, but... Right? Are you going to be a policeman?
He thinks so.
It's kind of quiet.
You know what? I mean, we have had the pleasure of having some time together around here on the sofa in the
Yes.
interview area. But for those of who may not know Mighty Mason like we do, can we start from Mason's incredible story?
Yeah, I actually had a super, super normal pregnancy. I had hardly any problems at all. I didn't feel him move very much, which I thought was weird, but I was a first-time mom, so I didn't know any different. I would go in for non-stress tests saying I didn't feel him move, and they would tell me, well, we can hear him moving. Why can't you feel that? And I thought that was weird. And then after he was born via emergency C-section, and they noticed very quickly that something was just not right. He wasn't breathing right. He was just wheezing. You could see he was definitely trying. He wasn't moving. And his cries were more of a whimper. They weren't any serious cries, but I was so just immune to the whole thing. I had all the new mom feels where I didn't think anything was wrong. And looking back on pictures, like, it's very, very obvious that there was something a little bit more serious going on with Mason.
Well, I can tell you something now. We are getting some serious pledges in.
That's fantastic.
You know, I don't even know where we're going to start because we're already at 18.
Whoa.
18. Let's hear it for the
18
18
calls, Mason.
Oh, my goodness. The Blood Center of Wisconsin, the phone bank is just a buzzing. IC Systems and Weezer Brothers with the Power Hour. The phones are ringing. Okay, now, I interrupted you, but let's go back.
That's fine.
I mean, I was so excited. I mean,
That's
18
fantastic.
calls, and they're
Yeah.
all on the phone right now.
Yeah, that's insane. So after he was born, he ended up in the NICU. He was in the NICU for 18 whole days. Even at this point, he just turned 4, and at this point last year, 4 years ago, he was still in the NICU, and we were just getting word of when we thought we might be discharged.
Think about that. I mean, all of a sudden, your life is on hold.
Yes.
Well, all of your lives.
Yeah.
And the lives of your family, everybody that
Oh, he wants to say something.
Okay, what do you want to say, honey? Okay, tell me what Mason is talking to us through.
So Mason has a speech device. He uses that to communicate. He's currently nonverbal. He doesn't say much of anything, and when he does, it's usually through his device, or he does sign sometimes. He uses some sign language.
Now this device, okay, so we're looking at an iPad here. What kind of program is in that?
It's called Proloco to Go. It's not a cheap program. It's pretty expensive. And he just dropped a mic. And woohoo!
That was a $500 match that came in. Holy cow.
That's insane. Anyways, now I'm gonna cry.
Oh, no, well, no, that's a good thing.
Anyways, I don't even know where I was.
Well, we were talking about the program.
we got the program for Mason to communicate, and it's been a huge, huge help to us because for 4 years now, I haven't been able to communicate with my son, and we've been trying to figure out how to do it, and this was a huge blessing.
With the communication, what causes his inability to
So
not
he actually has low muscle tone, and because of his low muscle tone, it makes it harder for him to just do certain things, and one of those things is speech. Speech comes really, really hard to him. So they actually are starting to look at an apraxia diagnosis since he can't talk.
And what is that? I don't understand what that is.
As far as I know, I haven't researched it a lot because he does have a bigger diagnosis at the moment that is kind of like a disconnect between the brain and the mouth.
Okay.
And it's just they're not working together like they should.
Well, there's a lot of people in the Cooley region working together because now we're
Yes.
up to 20 pledges.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
At the Blood Center of Wisconsin, 608-784-KIDS. Okay, now back to the program again.
Yes. Mason, what did you want to say? Did
He
you want
wants
to
to tell us something. Do you want to tell us something, honey? Are you happy that all of these phones are ringing? Are you happy at that?
Are you happy?
Can you
Yes.
show us happy? Okay, he's printing.
Oh, he wants to say. Okay. What are you doing?
Okay. He wants to show us something.
This is live radio with the 4-year-old people.
Yeah, that's fine. No, we're doing good.
What
We're
are you
doing good.
saying?
And he's
Are
trying
you going to
this
tell them
is-
your name? You want to tell them your name with your... Uh-oh.
You know, people are so smart that can invent these programs.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Shortly after we got it, we took him to the 4th of July. Mason has a lot of sensory issues as well, and he gets very overwhelmed very easily. And we took him to the fireworks, and at the fireworks, he was able to tell us through his device that he needed help, and it was way too loud for him.
and that was the
yes.
problem.
Yep,
Okay.
and that was something that we just didn't know.
You know, and this is loud here in our interview area.
It is.
It's very loud, but I feel like he's doing. And you know, every time that we are celebrating, we are now up to 23 pledges that have
23
come
calls,
in for the
Mason.
Children's Miracle Network. Hospitals.
You say hi.
This Radiothon is in its first day, and like I said, when you and Mason came down the ramp at Gunderson Health System, I thought, here they come, and here comes this aura of light and bright and happiness, and here we are.
Mason
and
just has that about him, not just because he's very bright, but he just ever since he was born, when Mason would walk in a room, he would just grab people's attention, and he's always been that. He walks into church, and everybody's like, "There's Mason," and he always, as he's stepping on chairs. Yeah.
What's next for Mason?
So currently, he does have a diagnosis of Prader-Willi syndrome. I don't think we kind of mentioned that, but
Right.
it's a deletion on his 15th chromosome, and it causes a multitude of issues. The biggest one is that everybody kind of knows about is chronic hunger. So he will have an insatiable appetite, and it's coupled with a low metabolism. So he is on an extremely strict diet. We try to avoid any extra sugars, so it's it makes things challenging.
So he's super hungry, but yet you have to be super careful.
Yes.
About
Yeah.
what he eats. So how do you plan out your menu? I mean, can you just go to the grocery store?
We have to, when we go to the grocery store, we have to read a lot of labels. We avoid anything with added sugar, and you'd be surprised the things that they add sugar to these days. Freeze-dried fruit sometimes even has added sugar, which is crazy to me.
You know, I saw a report yesterday on yogurt, and I couldn't believe how much sugar is in all different
Yeah.
variations of it. So you're right. I mean, it's something hidden, and so you spend a lot of time reading labels.
Yes. Learning just to adapt things so Mason can still have a relatively normal life is interesting. We don't ever want him to feel like he's left out, so we're trying to figure out ways to make it so Mason can participate, because now that he's in school and trying to do things with his friends, it's hard for him to just feel normal, and that's what we want for Mason.
So we're up to 24.
Whoa.
24 have just come through. And we thank everybody for their generosity. Take us through a typical day at your house. Is there a typical day?
Well, that's hard. Like this week alone, we've had a lot of doctor appointments. So we've been at Gunderson. This is the 3rd day in a row we'll be at Gunderson, coming all the way from Blair. So it's a trip.
You
So-
come from Blair?
Yes. Oh, he's talking.
Yep.
We wake up. We have to do all our meds. We have to check the weather. Mason can't control his body temperature, so making sure we know exactly what's going on in the weather is a huge thing for us. At one point, when he was little, it was even harder for him. And he would do things like he would overheat super, super easily. And CMN stepped in and actually provided us a car seat that helped regulate his body temperature.
I've
And
never
that's-
heard of that.
That is something that we probably would not have ever been able to get if it wasn't for CMN. And it's those little things where we wouldn't have to worry in the car about things like that. Just knowing Mason
Well-
was safe in a car seat that wasn't going to make him overheat.
You know, and that's something that, obviously as moms and dads you don't think about, because you think, okay, put on a sweater, put on a jacket, put on a but they could overheat so easy. Exactly. So this
yeah.
regulates it. We're now up to 27. We are up
27
to
calls.
27 calling us at the Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank, 608-784-KIDS 5437, and everyone that is placing these pledges and calling in is just amazing.
Oh.
And we hear Mason talking.
Yeah, now he's talking away.
Yep, he's talking away
He
to
just
Heather.
had a
Heather
birthday,
Gillis
yeah.
has joined us, and she's helping us. And he is 4 years old, is what he
Yes.
just told us. And this is part of that program that we were talking about, that since he's
You gonna push
not
that one?
able to verbalize, he can verbalize. And he's telling us what syndrome
Mason,
he
how do you
has.
talk? Can you tell us how you talk? Oh, he's just going to tell you
Oh,
everything
he just
about
had
him.
a birthday.
He just had a birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So how did CMN help you out? How did they come into the picture? Did you know about them?
Way back in the NICU days. Mason, way back. He's 4. He was my friend. Liz Grohl was actually, she was, her daughter was a hero.
Yep.
Back a couple years ago, and she offered to drive me to the clinic, and I couldn't drive because I had just had a C-section, and so they obviously were very limited on that. And she said, I'll drive you to the doctor, the hospital, but we need to make a stop. And I was like, okay, whatever. If somebody's going to take me there, I'll go, because I just need a ride to go see my child.
Right.
And so she drove me there, and then she marched me right to CMN. She marched me right to Heather, and she's like, we are going to, Heather.
That's how you met.
Yes. Yep.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Heather, can you join us over here? Heather is helping out, and we have her on this mic now. Heather, look at this amazing family you met 4 years ago.
I know. I'm the lucky one, right?
You are the
I
lucky
am
one.
the lucky one. Yeah, I am.
And every time that we hear those bells ring and those noisemakers, that means another pledge has come in. And I told Tessie when I saw her walk through the door, I said, it's about to start.
It is.
The
It
floodgates
is.
are about to
We are
open
ready.
wide.
We are ready here, and we need your call. So if you're thinking about it, debating about it, if you have $10, $20, whatever you have, it really makes a difference. $10 is 2 food vouchers for a family.
And food vouchers are huge for us. We just recently took in a 13-year-old, and being able to, and we're trying to catch him up on some of his appointments, and because he has the same thing Mason has, and it's being able to just show up. Somebody's like, we have food vouchers for you. We can go eat, since there's a lot of anxiety around food with our kids. So
Well,
knowing
there
CMN is there just so we can get some food vouchers when we're here all day long is
Exactly. So
fantastic.
it's simple things like that can make a big difference for families, and you just never know when you need it. And so that day when they walked in, Liz brought her in. I remember the day we went into the conference room, and they needed help, and we did it immediately. So it's just one of those things that we want to be there, and thanks to our community, we're able to do it. So keep on giving, open your hearts, and be generous.
yes.
32. How does that sound for a
32
number?
sounds fantastic.
Well, we've met.
Holy
I
cow!
know.
That's awesome.
Just, there is,
32.
this morning we had a conversation with one of our docs here at Gunderson, and she is also on the steering committee. And it's a privilege for her to be able to, I don't mean to be cold about, but review review the cases and the issues, and how wonderful it is, she said, for her to be able to be in on the process to help. There are so many things that, I have never heard of that their
Yes.
Children's Miracle Network can come through and help you with. Sometimes altering bathrooms.
Yeah.
And we talked about wheelchairs earlier today with some of our families. And one mom had to either decide if she was going to put her car away or get a wheelchair. When it comes to these
And
things.
we'll always pick what's for our kids. We won't ever.
And you always will.
Yeah, and that's
you
where
always
CMN
will.
stands up, so we don't have to choose. We have the opportunity to do both, which is huge for us, because there's no possible way any mom is going to choose their car over their kid.
You're right. And I have some really good news. You want some more good news?
Yes.
We're up to 35. We have 35. Hey, let's hear it for 35. We have 35. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon. We're at Gunderson Health System. We have taken over their lobby once again. And sometimes you wonder about some of the people that work right in this general area. They say, oh, here they are again this year. But you know what? Then they say they get wrapped up in the excitement and the enthusiasm that happens. And the Power Hour continues, the Weezer Brother Power Hour. We're up to 36. That is our new number. These are not things that we're reaching for. These are pledges that have come in.
That's insane.
Since you have taken the couch. Isn't that just amazing?
That's crazy.
I think that's just amazing that Mighty Mason is having a conversation here, and he may be playing a game or two,
Yeah,
which is great.
He's playing some
music.
drums.
Oh,
Yes.
he's playing drums. Excellent. So I think what we should do is we should tell you that we now have 37.
37 calls. Holy
See,
moly.
John Stevenson is over your shoulder, and every time that he gets the good news, in a good way. Yeah, he's not doing like the bunny ears behind your head or anything like that. But the good news is he's saying hi now on there, and he's just making sure that we're updated with what's going on in the Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank, because I can't keep up with the pace that is going on here. And usually if I've
insane.
had enough coffee, I can keep up. 38. We're at 38 right now. Give us a call at the Blood Center of Wisconsin phone bank, and we have a very special hour here. It is the Weezer Brothers Power Hour. We also have IC systems, and they're on these phone banks, and they're like busy. They're like busy. These phones are ringing, and that's what we want to
We like
keep
it that
going.
way.
We do. We love it that way. We probably want to search and see if we can come up with a goal, and maybe 45. Should we shoot
45.
for 45?
Absolutely.
Well, we have 39.
39. Six
so
more
we're
calls,
getting
people. Six more calls.
6 more calls. And what we're going to do is give you that number. Now, just in case you didn't write it down, don't worry, we're going to tell you again. It's 608-784-KIDS-5437. It's the Blood Center of Wisconsin phone banks, and we are absolutely staffed with the most incredible volunteers ready to take your calls. And what we'll do is we're going to ask you a few questions, and then at the end, we're going to say thank you so much, because making a difference in people's lives. And that's the truth. That's not just a slogan. That's what happens.
100% true. Yes.
So if somebody was trying to decide to pick up that phone and help make it to the 45, what would you say to them?
I don't even know what I would say, because there's no way to put into words the amount of relief that CMN has brought to our family. Just knowing that if something does come up, we have that there. And nobody expects anything to come up. And I was 21 when Mason was born. And at that age, I'm obviously completely oblivious to the real world, I think. And that's when CMN came up, and they were like, we can help you with whatever you may need.
You know,
Whatever.
we don't want to play favorites. However, with that being said, who do you think Mason's favorite doctor is?
Ooh, Mason, who's your favorite doctor?
He's thinking.
Well, he's pointing at Christy Sunday, because he's a little confused, but yes. Yes,
well, we
we
love
her
you too. Absolutely. It doesn't have to be a doc.
No.
So there you go. Yeah, a good nurse. And he pointed right at you.
He did.
So I think there's a major connection here.
Yes.
I have that feeling.
We love Christy
Yeah,
Sunday.
I can see that, and
Yes.
I have a feeling she loves you guys too. Yeah, I think so too. Keeping the phones ringing at the Blood Center of Wisconsin. It's 608-784-KIDS. That's 5437.
Mason's excited, guys. Mason's excited.
Mason is getting excited. You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon. Put your money where the miracles are, and people are doing it. They are putting their
Yes.
money where the miracles are. You have a miracle right in front of you here.
I do.
4 years of miracle.
Yes.
Yeah. I tell you something. How about what's happening like with school? What's gonna go on there?
So he does go to school every morning. He loves riding the bus. He gets his speech, his OT, and his PT there, as well as he comes to Gunderson for OT as well to help with some of his sensory therapies.
What school does he go to?
He goes to Blair Taylor.
So you know what? I think we shot too low.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, we were
What a
gonna
bummer,
go
huh?
for 45. Ladies and gentlemen, 48 pledges have
Holy
come
moly.
through. That's huge. It's a Weezer
Say
Power
yay.
Hour, and we'd love to thank IC
doesn't wanna
Systems
talk.
too. I think what we're going to do is let you guys go play. Are you ready to go play?
Are you ready to go play, Mason?
You think they're ready to go play?
He does not want the microphone.
Okay. He does not want the microphone. All right. I think what we'll do then, we're going to let you guys go.
Okay.
But you know what? We're not going to let you go without a huge thank you for sharing your story.
Absolutely.
sharing
It
your
is our
time.
pleasure.
You know what? It takes something to get out of the house and make things happen in a day. And we appreciate
CMN
you
is
taking,
worth it.
Well, and we appreciate you taking the effort.
Yes.
You're listening to the Children's Miracle Network Radiothon, a service of the La Crosse Media Group.